Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is March 12th, 2024. I am the New World Order Survival Guy, and today I want to talk about bartering items. Bartering items can come in real handy, and I'm talking about bartering items on the cheap. Stuff that you can accumulate that ain't going to cost you much. And first of all, you got to think about most people don't prep. Most people don't prep. And the people that do, there's a lot of good preppers out there. Yeah, prep everything. But there's things that'll run out from their prep, or people will have on hand that they don't have enough of. Stuff will run out. And if you stockpile certain items, they could come real valuable to the people in need. Now, I'm sure I'm missing quite a few stuff on here. After I talk about it, you'll realize, oh, what about this? What about that? Shit happens. But let's get into some of this bartering items on the cheap. And this is in no particular order. First one is lighters. Lighters. You know these little big lighters? They last. They last. This ain't no more than like $5. 5 lighters. You accumulate like 50 of them packages or whatever. Get some every paycheck or something like that. Lighters are going to be extremely valuable. You could also use or get like magnesium sticks and ferro rods and stuff like that. Those are also cheap. Those will also last a long time, but these big lighters is ready to use. A lot less hassle, and I'm sure somebody would gladly kick you some of their supplies for a full fueled up lighter. So think about that, man. You can use lighters for all kinds of stuff, starting fires, but fire is very important in any survival situation, whether you're bugging out or bugging in. So keep that in mind. Lighters, very, very important. They're cheap, very useful. Um, the next one is water. You're always going to use water. Everybody's always going to need water, especially if you're in a city and all the utilities are shut down. You can't use that nasty water from your faucets. Those are going to be turned off. You're going to want water. Everybody's going to want water. It's life or death. You only get, 3 days, give or take, to live without water. Water is super important to not only prep, but even to barter with. It's for hygiene, it's for cleaning cuts, and obviously to drink, to water plants, all kinds of stuff like that. You can get whatever containers of water. They have the big jugs, they have the small ones, they have the gallon ones. But you can also get like a 500 gallon reserve tank or 100 gallon, whatever, those barrels. People would give anything for water because water is so important and such a key to life. So think about that, man. Not only do you need water to last you forever, how long for you and your family, your group, whatever, but as a bartering, bottled waters or containers of waters that you can disperse out into a jug and trade off or whatever. I mean, cooking, freeze dried. I mean, all that. Next one is food. You got excess amount of pasta or rice or beans or, you may not want to get rid of your good stuff, but as a commoditive, beans, rice, pasta, and then there's other things too that you wouldn't mind trading for ammo, or if you didn't have water, or it's a good filler food that prevents somebody from going hungry, that they'll gladly exchange some of their goods to you, something useful that you need. It could be anything. That's what barter is, man. You just have a stockpile of stuff that people could use. Not everybody's going to collect the same bartering items as you. Even like salts. Salts, especially in big quantities. I mean, you can preserve meat. You could use it for seasoning. Seasoning itself, you can buy in bulk. That's like night and day for food. Seasoning. Big old things of black pepper. Big old things of salt. You can buy 25-pound bags of salt. Think about that. Electrolytes. You can make your own electrolytes, and that'll be a different show. I'll show you exactly how to do that. But you can buy electrolyte packets, little skinny packets that's, ready to use. Because water in itself is not going to cut it. You need electrolytes to be able to absorb that water into your body. Okay, so another thing would be seeds. Vegetable and fruit seeds, especially when them grocery stores goes down, you're going to need some seeds. Like tomatoes. I mean, you don't need big, huge room to grow all these plants. There's ways of gardening, whether it's in buckets or there's just different means. I mean, I got shows lined up for gardening because I know what I'm doing when it comes to gardening, mending soil, all that. You could buy seeds in bulk. You want heirloom, non-GMO seeds. Don't buy that GMO seed crap because they ain't going to do nobody no good. You want heirloom, non-GMO seeds. And then you can use those seeds from the fruit and reproduce, 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 and they'll just go on forever. Um, GMO seeds won't. You might get one, maybe two seasons of weak, non-nutritional fruit. Yeah, you don't want that. It's nearly the same price. It's almost the same price. So just go on eBay, Amazon, um, local farmer websites, and order heirloom seeds. Do yourself a favor on that. Um, skills, skills and services. You good at something? You good at gardening? You're good at some kind of survival trait? You could barter your services for items that you need that you don't have. You could barter for someone else's skills that they know in exchange for giving them something you have excess of. So that could be anything. It could be building shelters, it could be carpentry, it could be wiring up, um, just different devices, maybe fixing certain minor electronics like crank radios or something. It could be solar. If you're into solar and you got all those inverters and battery, whatever those take, if you know how to do that, yeah, people give you some stuff for that, especially when they have certain appliances that they need, you know. Um, Alternative energy like wind. Um, you get car alternator and you hook it up to a battery and you generate power through water, through the wind, through some means. That is real energy that, either you learn to do it. I mean, when shit hits the fan, there's going to be abandoned cars everywhere. You can go get you a truckload of alternators and batteries. You think them car lots are going to be selling them cars? Nah, and those are brand new. You can utilize those materials. I'm not vouching for stealing or nothing like that, but hey, if it's a shit hits the fan scenario, those cars ain't going nowhere. I mean, people are going to vandalize them and rip them apart anyways. You might as well get some stuff that's useful out of them, Suggestion. Just a suggestion. But there's many aspects of skills and services that you could provide or somebody can provide for you for exchange for some goods. Keep that in mind because the options are just unlimited. Another factor in that is purifying water. You could get one of them big Berkeys. It's not exactly cheap, but it's doable. They do tons and tons of gallons. You can get extra filters and everything like that. Get some water, fill it up, say, hey man, gallon of good purified water. Give me this or that. Water. You could teach skills. You could teach skills. You could teach about how to find wild edible plants to eat or for medicinal. It's something you have to learn. I have all kinds of books for my area in my region. You could do the same. You could teach that, or you can harvest and barter a basket full of uh, plants that you know that are good. You know, maybe eat a little bit in front of them and show you, hey, this is good. Another thing is growing tobacco or buying tobacco, cigarettes, or just pouches of tobacco or whatever. People smoke, and people will give anything for a cigarette. I don't smoke, but I used to. And I know how bad people need or want their cigarettes, especially in a stressful time like what's coming. So, cigarettes, tobacco is a good commodity to barter with, just like alcohol. Alcohol you can make, or you could buy. You know, you could have a few bottles of that pricier stuff on hand, and you would barter those off to somebody that has some good stuff that they're willing to give. Or you can make it. It is not hard to make alcohol. I've made it plenty of times. I'm not going to get into detail on this platform because they already took off a couple of my shows. So I might save that for another time, showing people that don't know how to make alcohol. It's super simple. Another thing is medicine. I'm not really nobody's really going to get an excess bartering measure amount of antibiotics or anything like that. But what you can get bulk of is like ibuprofen, aspirin, just cold tablets, and I'd advise to get the harder tablets instead of the gel tablets, because the gel tablets, they're going to go bad quicker, and then the gelatin around the medicine could melt if you're in hot. It can go bad and stuff like that. I get the hard tablets, pain medication especially, and then cold and flu. Things like that will go. People will trade you good stuff for that, especially when they're in need. Another thing is reading glasses. Reading glasses, obviously, seeing from a distance, glasses is not as probable, but reading glasses, you don't need a prescription. You can go to Walmart and you get like a 3-pack or something like that for like $10. I mean, like, I got something right here. I mean, I can't look at stuff hardly without it. Super cheap. You get a little stockpile of them, and they'll go. So another huge one is ammunition. Most people be like, screw that. I'm not going to give up no ammunition. And I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. But like, say if you ain't got no water, or you need a certain medication for you or one of your family members or something like that that'll save their life, you're going to give up that ammo. And so with the other people that have excess ammo that they're willing to give you in exchange for some of these other items. So ammo is a big one. The next one I want to talk about is first aid. First aid, you can get a million different things with first aid. I'm just going to keep it, I'm not going to sit here and talk for no damn hours about some first aid. I just want to talk about a couple things that are always needed. Chapstick. I keep on telling you, I've said in a couple videos, chapstick, chapstick, chapstick. And that goes with chafting too. If you can get chapstick, or you can get Vaseline or something. You get them. You know what I mean? You can use that for chapstick. You can for chafting on your legs or butt cheeks or whatever you get chaffed on. I'm telling you, that is important and it's dirt cheap. I highly suggest getting those. Another thing is quick clot. You get a cut, you're bleeding and bleeding. Those quick clots can be a lifesaver. Absolute lifesaver. They're highly sought after in a survival prepper first aid kit. So, and they're not too much, pretty much on the cheap. So consider that in your bartering stash. Hydrogen peroxide and rubbing alcohol. You get a little cut, you don't think nothing of it. You just wash it, whatever, put some peroxide or alcohol on it. It goes away. But if people don't realize, some people don't realize, if you let that go untreated with those simple, underestimated first aid preps, you could actually die. That thing gets infected. That infection ain't going nowhere unless you kill it. All it takes is a little bit of peroxide. Open that up a little bit. Put the peroxide in there. It'll kill that infection. And so can alcohol. I like the peroxide better. And it's cheap. You can get a good sized bottle for like $1 or $2. You know, you could stash up on those, and those are as good as gold. People don't realize that unless they see an infection getting out of hand. You know, those are extremely valuable and an absolute necessity for most preppers. Most types of preppers, I should put it that way. I mean, there's preppers that are, like I say, that are primitive, that are highly skilled, and they know some of them plants out there where they're at, it could do just as good. That's what I was saying earlier with the plants and stuff. You learn those, you get bucks on them for your general vicinity. You know, you're not going to need some of this other stuff like peroxide and stuff like that. I mean, you got that covered. But if you're bugging in and, oh, excuse me, you know, it's just good to have in your prep for bartering. Absolutely. Another thing is soap and hygiene. Everybody's going to be some dirty ass bastards when shit hits the fan. Absolutely. You ain't going to have no running water coming out of your shower or sink. You're not going to want to waste your water on hand. You know, you're going to have to go take a dip in the lake. You know, you're going to have to jump in a river or something. You're going to have to, I mean, you're going to have to keep clean somehow, because otherwise you're going to have bacteria and shit like that. You have to keep clean. So you want to get some soap. You don't really want to soap up a damn pond either, you know what I mean? So you're going to have to get like a bucket, scoop it out of the stream, get away from the shore a little bit, and splash yourself down. But you need soap. It's going to take care of a lot of that bacteria and crap like that you're going to have on you. Hygiene. You know, you ever seen them old videos of the coupon queens and stuff like that, where they accumulate like a freaking room full of shampoo and conditioner and soaps and body wash and all this crap, deodorants, and I mean, you name it. It stuck, you know, and it barely cost them anything. They still have options to do them coupons. You know, that's a whole nother skill level in itself right there. I know my mom used to try to do that, and she never was that successful at it, but she did get some stuff. So that is an option. Find stuff on sale. It don't even have to be the high dollar stuff. Just generic, just shampoos, deodorants, you know, just stuff like that. Soaps. Soap is going to be very valuable. Even some dish soaps and stuff like that you can get on sale for like $1 for a good sized bottle or something. You know what I mean? Just that stuff will definitely come in handy. Now, gardening. I know we briefly went over gardening a little bit ago. Gardening is definitely a skill set. It took me many years to basically perfect gardening. I'm talking about mending soil, checking the pH balance on it, see if it's acidic or not. Knowing the different plants, vegetables, and fruits, because each of them take a specific type of soil. Some of it and a lot of it is not that crucial, but when you get into like berries and stuff like that, it's going to require real acidic soil. So there's ways, and like I can't wait to do these episodes of showing you guys how to do this, because that's like one of my fortes is perfecting gardening and dealing with everything, with bugs, everything, you know. There's all kinds of tricks of the trade, using the mulch, just there's tons of stuff that you can use naturally. That's just out in the street if you need it. You know what I mean? Scrap foods, um, just all kinds of things to put nutrients into soil. You could take the crappiest soil and make the most fertile, usable, high nutritious soil imaginable. I mean, super easy. You just got to know what you're doing and how long it takes to the stuff to mend down. You know, like for instance, chicken crap, that's considered hot, you know. So it's going to take a little bit for that to be usable in a garden where you can start planting plants in there. Rather like horse and cow manure and rabbit manure and a lot of other animals you can use immediately. Um, so, yeah, that is something to learn, and you can barter with that. People like, man, I'm trying to grow my plants, you know, and it's not going, and I'm running out of seeds. You're like, hey, well, I can handle that problem for you, you know, just what you got in exchange, you know, because this is fighting for survival, man. You know, you got to do what you got to do. It sounds kind of greedy, like you're charging a neighbor to help them or something like that. It just depends. If they're riding on all kinds of stuff that you can use that you really need, you know, you're gonna barter stuff. You're not gonna sit there and play Red Cross. Well, Red Cross don't really do shit for anybody, but rob them. So, in my opinion, of course, YouTube. All right, fishing equipment. Fishing equipment. I'm not talking about poles. I'm talking about like fishing string, hooks, weights. You know, there's all kinds of little fishing equipment that you can get, especially hooks. You know, especially hooks. But I suggest hooks, weights are the main, and fishing line are the main things to collect because it's cheap. You can easily barter with it. You can get it in bulk. Excellent. Obviously, especially with people near water sources like that. Poles, you ain't got to worry. You can use anything. You don't even have to use a pole. You can just, you know, don't waste your time with the excess specialty fishing equipment because it doesn't mean a shit. All right. Sewing and repair kits. You know, you can barter some of those needles and thread off, or it can also be like a service. You see that rip on that nice ass jacket? I'll fix it for you so it doesn't get worse and that jacket is going to be trash. Let me fix it for you in exchange for something. You know, ammunition, medicine, whatever. You already know the stuff that you could accumulate and get from other barterers. So you can get some little clothes, glue, crazy glue, whatever, sewing needles, threads. You can get big rolls of Velcro and cut it up to whatever they need and then sew that on there. You can have buttons, and learning how to fix zippers is not that hard. even when those little teeth are broken in the middle of a zipper. Look on YouTube. There's ways of easily fixing that. Easily. Most 99% of people don't know how to do that. You know, you can easily learn how to do it. And, you know, that could ultimately save somebody's life by actually fixing their jacket in the middle of winter. So think about that. Cheap. Dirt cheap. It ain't cost nothing. Um, Batteries. Batteries. This is the day and age where everything takes batteries. You could buy a bulk package of batteries of all sizes, especially like AAA, AA, those C whatever 1, 2, 3. I've little cell battery. I mean, all ones that you really ain't got to use too much anymore. Thank God is them D's and C's. You do have some that still require some of those, but not as much. Not as much. You know what I mean? So you have some batteries. Um, they could be an excellent bartering choice, and there'll be a lot of people that is going to be looking for batteries. Because when they run, they're going to be powers out and everything. They're going to be using their devices consistently. Their batteries are going to run out. And if you're going to have batteries for their device that they need, oh, it's going to be like gold. This could be like gold. Animals. Animals like chickens, rabbits, raising for food. Chickens, obviously, eggs for meat. You get the meat chickens. I mean, you already know. Goats, pigs, whatever. Animals for food. But you can also, you have puppies. Your dog's going to have puppies. People's going to want guard dogs. People is going to want companionship. People's going to want dogs to alert them when like a bear or a mountain lion or something's coming. Depending on what kind of dog. I mean, you can get a retriever. You can go retrieve that goose or duck that you shot, or chase down rabbits and squirrels and whatever else. Whatever reason, dogs are needed in most cases, not in all cases. Um, that's another thing to think about. And let me just basically close it up with joining a group in exchange for work. If you're by yourself, if your family is alone, and you see a well-established group of people, maybe a militia, maybe just a homesteading group, a migration of people, kind of like that damn zombie movie or TV show, whatever. You have something to offer. If you have a skill set, people will be more likely to allow you and bring you into their group where you can be safe. You just work and contribute to their community and just do whatever you can to help them. But you know, they're not going to let you in unless you have an actual skill set, most likely. And it's the same thing as vice versa. If you have a little group, you know, you bring someone into your group. Maybe you don't have guns and they do, so you can use them as a security. And then, you know, it goes a long way with the trust and everything like that, but it's just options thrown out there. You know, the options are endless. You could make blankets, you could, you know, just anything. There is so much to offer, and there's so much that could be offered to you that you might not even realize until you're in that situation. So just think about those things and gather stuff to barter. Whatever it is, whatever, you know, you can afford, whatever in your brain that you think that, hey, people will need this. People, like I said, there's probably lots of stuff that I didn't come up with right now. I'm just trying to get it to you guys. You know, think about it, man. I mean, think about what people would want to use that you have access to the stuff on the cheap or something like that. Just think about that. Gather it up. You know, preferably something that ain't gonna go bad. Like I would have said like gasoline and stuff, but gasoline goes bad. You know, propane, that lasts indefinitely. Diesel lasts a couple years, but gasoline, they say 6 months to a year. You know, I mean, you can do that, but if you say that stuff now, by the time you really actually need it, it's not gonna be no good. You know, so. So, all right, well, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I think I'm going to pull together another show before the night's over. So, let me get ready for that. I'm the New World Order Survival Guy, and catch you on the next one.